It seems like these days, black men are blamed for everything. From the violence on the streets to you niggas don't take care of your kids. You were beta males. Anything wrong with the black community is black men's fault. And now I have to say that black men do have an accountability for the lack of the community in certain aspects. But there's one thing that I cannot blame black men for. And that is this whole idea of colorism. And this term is first spoken by Rashida Strober. She's the first colorism activist with regards to dark skin. But there have been other people who've come along after her who have said similar things. Black men prefer white women, or black men prefer lighter women. It's because of them. Their choices in women is because they don't like us. They are preferring other groups. And it's because of black men that we have this divide amongst the women, and dark-skinned black women are not getting promoted. But when we really look at where it comes from, it comes from black women themselves. You say, well, Oshay, how do you know this? What proof do you have today to talk about? I'm glad you asked this question, because the name of the video is My Grandmother, the First Self-Hater Colorist, who taught me how to hate dark skin. I'm going to start with her. This is a personal story. I love her to death, but we got to be real for clarification. You see, before I get into the story, I was called names too as a dark-skinned black child. I hear a lot of African immigrants say that they were called African booty scratcher and things like this. Y'all wasn't the only ones called those names. Dark-skinned African Americans were called those names too. Tar baby. But again, where does that self-hatred come from? And for me, it came from grandma. Now, her vision of how she saw race came from maybe someone above her, and someone above her who had just probably recently, came out of slavery or parents. So this stems around this time. But my grandmother is from a little small town called Bastrop, Louisiana. And when my mom met my dad is from Natchitoches, Louisiana originally. So my family were on both sides tenant sharecroppers or tenant farmers. That means they worked Mr. Charlie's land. They didn't own the land. Mr. Charlie owned the land, the white man. And they got paid off of whatever harvest that they got. And as an African American that is graduated college 2 generations after that, I'm proud to say that we've come a long way from being a tenant farmer to where I am now. But let me go back to the story. My grandmother was not educated. And when she met my grandfather, who was older than her, he also was not educated. And at this time, when they met in the 50s, even when they moved to California, there was no opportunity for them to migrate into white America. Even in California, which was considered liberal. And if you are uneducated, and you couldn't go to, at the time, the Howard universities or the Grambling universities. And at this time, there was no financial aid. If you wanted to go to these historically black colleges and universities, you'd have to pay for it out of pocket. And so they were poor. They couldn't afford to do that. You had 2 options. If you couldn't do the first options of academia, then you have 2 more options. One option was through the church. And so because my grandparents were not necessarily so smart. The only way that they can really gain notoriety is through the church circuit. So my grandmother became a minister of music, and my grandfather was a longtime deacon. Got baptized at Macedonia Baptist Church in Richmond, California in 1949, which is when he started becoming a deacon at that time. So this was the way that they got known in this black community in California. But the only other way that you can make a name for yourself without being academic or without being in the church or, being somewhat successful with the business, something like that, you could upgrade yourself by marrying a light-skinned person or a mulatto. Now, you could marry anybody white at this time, but if you could marry somebody mulatto, it brought esteem to your family. Didn't matter what your education or academic background was. If you married a light-skinned person, it brought the family joy. It brought the family great joy. Because then your kids would not have to be as dark as you. So that gave your kids more opportunities. How do I know light-skinned children got more opportunities? Well, just look at Booker T. Washington. Just look at W.E.B. Du Bois. Just look at a lot of the other leaders that we had. Frederick Douglass. Even if you look at the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad. See, Malcolm X. See, a lot of people who got on in the black community early on were light-skinned. Charles Drew. Langston Hughes. You see, the light-skinned black people were closer to white people, so they had it easier in the black community, and black people respected them more. Even some of your earlier people who went to Liberia, light-skinned. The people who ran Haiti for so many years, mulatto, light-skinned. So there's this whole idea about being light is better. So my grandmother, understanding this, knowing that she had dark-skinned grandchildren, which she tried to tell my mom to marry a light-skinned man, and her first husband was a mulatto. It didn't work out. So my mom fell in love with my daddy, who was black as hell, and she had me and my brother and my I have an older brother. Her thing was to let us know real quick, you need some color in your marriage, baby. Grandma love you a whole lot, but you're too black. If you have a dark-skinned young lady, you need a woman that's going to give you some color. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's just maybe your grandma. What about anybody else? Well, I have an aunt. When I decided I got into Howard University, she said, ooh, baby, you're going to Howard. That's great. You'll be able to meet you a nice light-skinned woman. Have some nice, pretty kids. This is what a lot of older black women and black people in the South thought. So let me kind of talk about how my grandma did my brother. My brother is 10 years older than me. Blacker than I am. And one day, he decided that he wanted to bring a dark-skinned young lady home. Told my grandma, hey, I got a girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Yeah, grandma, I got a girl. I want you to meet her. Well, bring her over to the house, baby. Brought her to the house. Grandma answered the door. Hey, how you doing? Hey, mama, got a girl and everything. Oh, hey, what's your name, baby? Hey, my name is Charlene. Oh, it's good to see you, baby. Can I talk to you in the room? She told my brother this. Let me talk to you in the room. Had the girl out there waiting. So let me talk to you something. Now I'm going to tell you this one time. Who was that black ass ugly girl out there with that nappy hair? He said, Mama, that's my grandma, that's my girlfriend. He said, you better not never bring that nappy headed black bitch to my house ever again. In so many words. Don't you bring that ugly black dark skinned girl to my house no more. Now she didn't even know this girl. Didn't even give her a chance to say hello or anything. So my brother, he was doing what he was told. At the time, my grandma was raising him, and I was with my mom in LA and my dad, and so my brother broke the relationship off. So my brother, till this day, never dealt with no other dark-skinned women. In fact, my other brother, who's my god brother, but he recounts my brother putting makeup on to lighten himself up. So when he go to school, he would look lighter. And my brother's children today are mulatto children. Not because of what he didn't like, but because of what grandma taught him. And so grandma tried that shit with me. But I'm fucked up. So she said the same shit to me. I said, okay, I got something for you. Because I was a rebel kid anyway. And I liked them dark. I liked them dark with them big old booties. That's all I kept bringing by. Hey, grandma, I got somebody for you. Who is this? But they couldn't do nothing with me though. Because I cussed a motherfucker out. So they, I was a little bit different. I went with the program. I wouldn't let nobody punk at me. Listen, I'm fucking her, you not. And she got some good pussy. I'll tell her, you not, I'm hitting that. And I'm not going to stop. And if you, and if you don't like it, I ain't got to come back. So since you want me to come back and tell these jokes every Christmas and Thanksgiving, she just start accepting it. But really, if I had listened to that, to this day, I would be chasing mulatto chicks. Or white chicks. Now, then you women will come back and say, well, black men have chosen this route. But you don't want to talk about how women themselves in our black communities have told their sons, she's too black. Even my grandfather, he would tell me when he was coming up in Benton, Missouri, that, somebody called him black, it was fighting words. Black he thought it was an ugly word. Because black was associated with being stupid, being a jigaboo, being some kind of primate or something. They looked at themselves as white people were looking at them. And that stuck in them folks' minds. So the only way that they can move up in black America or in America in general, but really in black America, was to get lighter. Don't believe me? Look at all the homecoming kings of these black colleges. Go look at Prairie View A&M in 1980s, 70s. Look at Howard. Look at Hampton. You don't see a lot of the black college kings and stuff like that, light-skinned people. Your earlier black doctors, your earlier black lawyers, light-skinned. Some of those families that are privileged today, that have been, third, fourth generation doctors, stuff like that, light-skinned people. They had the first privilege. No group in black America has been more privileged than them. And everybody wanted in on that group. And today, we are suffering from the women, many of them, who taught their sons to lighten up the gene pool. So before you want to blame black men, you need to blame grandma, blame Auntie Charlene, blame Medea, blame Auntie Betty, blame Big Mama for telling their sons, their girlfriends, or their wives are too black. And their kids was going to end up being black and ugly and crispy. And don't you want your kids to be pretty? Don't you want your kids to have good features? Don't you want your kids to have a pretty color? I'm sure y'all heard that kind of talking points before. And those are women talking points. So I just thought I'd put this out there. Now, again, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I want to give a shout out to the moderator awards. The moderators, man, have done so a good a job. I've been so busy with respect to a class that I had to complete. But I want to put the link. I'm running the moderator awards until August. We have a pretty good competition. Vote for your favorite moderators below. The moderators do a great job on the channel. We're going to announce the winnings at the end of August. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you who support me on Patreon. Now, for those of you who do support me on Patreon, understand that your $5 a month pledge helps what I call the negromanosphere.com. It's our own website for black men. We talk about black male issues. And I thank you, brothers, for signing up. If you haven't signed up, because I'll be going in on Patreon. I'm going in tonight. Content you can't get on YouTube. It's only $5 a month. I'm about to bring my Nigga Flicks episode 5 out. You want to get that, where I really go in and just really be a whole Negro. So $5 a month, and you help support what we're doing at negromanosphere.com. The forum, the writers, the staff writers, everybody on negromanosphere.com. So sign up. We're making opportunities for black men. And if you don't support our own black male media for just $5 a month, who can we get support from? We put out a lot of good content, both on the website and on the YouTube. Now, also, I have 5 free ebooks. I'll put that in the description. If you have issues getting the ebooks that we have for free, How to Stop Simping in 24 Hours, The Black Man's Guide to Interracial Dating for some of you who like that, written by Donovan Sharp. We have a survivalism ebook and Why Men Should Stop Helping Women ebook. All are free, and I have my free AKtion Comic. Now, you really got to check my AKtion Comic out. That thing is the shit. It's free. If you really want a reason why you need to donate to what I'm doing, check that out. Okay, we have another comic that's coming out on the works right now. It's actually on Patreon. So again, I'm doing a lot of good things for a lot of brothers that's supporting just $5 a month, right? So if you have any issues with the ebooks, just email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. See why you support what we're doing. We're trying to help black men all across the world. So those ebooks are free. My comic is free. Okay. So again, brothers, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing. As you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and then go in again in the description. Vote for your favorite negromanosphere.com moderator awards, and check out all my ebooks. Sign up for the Patreon and all that. I got good content. And as you know, I'm up out of here. Peace.